Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I remember, it was like one of those family scenarios where you have, you have the aunties and the auntie grandmas and the grandma aunties around, and the kids are like trying to, tune into them, hey, and Sadie, this we got these new, we had you had these books, right? That well, it was like a coffee table book, but it has this. It looks like what is that guy Jackson Pollock, the guy that throws paint at the at the wall or whatever? It's like all this splatter, but you like look at it after a while, and you see some 3D, So we're like, look at it. I don't see anything. It's just like it looks like a lot of blotches. What am I looking for? No, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see. Just keep looking. What is the purpose of this? It's the latest thing. It's the latest thing. The latest thing, is that good? Is that supposed to be good? Yeah. Well, it's gonna turn 3D. I don't see anything. Uh, Just look at, come on, Aunt Sadie, look at it. Just look at it. Is this bad for your eyes? Yeah. But yeah, I'm thinking way back into the past and things that were past. It dawned on me, and this is a Macarena stream, so let me not attention deficit this, but yeah, and also I know I'm not supposed to be on the air, for God's sake. But nevertheless, it's 5 minutes after 6 because I can't make it on, and I'm not even on the schedule, and I can't make it on time. I keep on trying and trying, and what I think I need to do is switch to my daughter's account, even though I'm dreading it. But I mustn't let myself slip. I just remember my daughter's account, the Squad Power, is lower, and I started helping her, and also multiple times I neglected her account, and then finally, she got back on. She oscillates, She's right now. She's totally into obbies again on Roblox. And she's not asking for Minecraft, and but she did come in and watch watch a little bit of combat. Actually, she's still, she's like, I'm the gun, pick me up, and I'm supposed to be the Juggernaut, and I'm like, and she's like, pa 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 pa, and I'm carrying her around, like my gun, right? And she's like, you're the Juggernaut, I'm the gun, pa 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 pa. But anyway, what what happened, is I was thinking about the getting into Asian movies, and it really, for me, it goes back. Maybe, as soon as we had VHF or whatever, there was an Ultraman show, right? That was the first sign of Japanese culture that was coming on or whatever. Claim. And but thinking of Zatoichi, you see these movie posters. These are, I think this set of movie posters just has the first 25. I think there's actually 26 or 27 Zatoichi movies, but maybe the last one or two were done by a different actor. So he's the blind masseuse, and it's like in Japanese culture, if you have some disability or whatever, oftentimes you occupy some low level obsequious strata of society. Like you go around and you give people massages and they give you a little bit of coin so you can eat. But Zatoichi can also gamble, right? And this is how he infiltrates the, that's a gambler is Yakuza, right? So he performs, he's blind, right? But he performs amazing feats of sensibilities, right? He can whip out he has like a cane that that he taps around. If you've never heard of Zatoichi, I'm introducing you to the great hero of. It's been a half a century, for God's sake. I think there were two places where we could see when I was little, where we could actually see a Zatoichi movie. It's like in the '60s, you did not have that in the United States. No way. But as soon as the VHS era came along, we started to get. We would get El Santo, El Enmascarado de Plata contra las mujeres vampiras. El Frankenstein, Santo contra and Toshiro Mifune, right, playing for Sanjiro and Yojimbo and the Seven Samurai. And we had we had these Japanese movies were coming to us in the form of Wild West, like spaghetti westerns. The Italians caught on to what the Japanese were doing with these samurai movies, right? And they started to make knockoff westerns, Wild West westerns, that were just copies of the stories from the samurai movies, right? So be aware that it's derivative. But I think I saw stuff like Kurosawa Akira. Ikura means squid. I always make that mistake. Kurosawa Akira, right? Made a lot of enga movies. Kurosawa enga no enga wa daisuki desu. The movies of Kurosawa I like very much. Okay, but I think Zatoichi maybe it's a little bit more subterranean, because he's like floating on the boundaries of the underworld or whatever. He's the blind masseuse. He goes around giving people massages and gambling, and he has this little cane, right? And when you put loaded dice, when you're playing dice with him, and you switch the dice out with loaded dice, he hears that the dice have changed, and then his cane, he whips out, and it's like a samurai sword inside a cane. It's like whoosh, and when the dice are rolling through the air, he like slices them all in half, and you can see that they're loaded inside. They're laying on the floor with the loads inside the middle of them. This guy's like, a classic Zatoichi scene is like, a guy is like, what's that sound? And he holds up a candle like this, right? And whoosh, and he's like, his eyes are going across, and the candle is now not on the candelabra anymore. It's been sliced off, and the burning candle is lying on top of the sword, right? And the camera drops down, and the sword is, in his mouth like this. He's like, ah. The guy's like, yeah, better not move. Because the guy holds up a candle like this. He's like, the candle is sitting there burning on the sword, right? He's got the sword in his mouth. Yeah. So it's and I characterize it's a gimmick, sort of, you might say, or what should we call it, a shtick. The thing with, I call it the Popeye shtick, right, or the Popeye gimmick, right? Because Popeye actually, when he goes up against the villains or wherever in the cartoon series, the theme is they always beat him down, right? They're beating him down, and he just takes it and takes it and takes it, and finally he pulls out the spinach, right? And he just tears them up, that's sort of the thing, David Carradine and Kung Fu, I don't want to be violent, me tofu, Buddha, blah blah blah, right, and then all of a sudden he kicks everybody's ass, but I'm sorry, but yeah, Zatoichi is like that. He really, he doesn't, he doesn't want to kill. That's the thing. He doesn't want to hurt anybody, he wants to be good and everything like that. But he ends up, just about every episode, these guys just keep doing really worse and worse and worse and worse awful stuff, and then they grab some poor teenage girl and they run off to rape her, or whatever, and then it's like, okay, that's it, man. Y'all are through. And it's the angle with and then he goes and he really tears them all up. Yeah, nobody can resist him. So it dawned on me yesterday. I've been going through this in my mind because my child is a mixed heritage or whatever. And I noticed that I mentioned El Santo, right? And I'm looking for heroes that she can identify with, but she's in these really, they're violent games. There's it's war and stuff going on, and I guess, in the United States, there's always been war and danger, because it was just the basic foundation of the United States is the people that have the weapons and money. They kill everybody and they steal everything, and then they pass out the spoils according to who went along with them or whatever. That's and whoever resisted them or whatever, they try to make them like Julian Assange or Edward Snowden and chase them down around the world and stuff like that. You're not going to go along with our mafioso stuff, so we're gonna chase you down around the world. You'll never escape us, and they don't really care about. Ask Sybil Edmonds if they care about our safety from nuclear weapons. They don't care. Right. Well, some of them don't, and some people they're just brainwashed and they go around with it, but sometimes you need a hero like he's not doing it for credit. Zatoichi. Hey Barry, how you doing? I hope you don't get in trouble. I was having a long conversation of hero, and how we get in this world that we're in, which is so terrible and violent, and all the bad things that are going on. How to inculcate values, strong moral values, and for doing right, and what heroes really look like in a really bad time, and it occurred to me that when I was very little, when I was 9 or 10 years old, the end of the Zatoichi movie series was going on. That this character, who is the blind masseur, the blind masseuse or whatever, in Japanese film, he'd already been making movies for several decades, right? And he was he was a great hero. And even more, the first thing I saw where I identified with the Japanese samurai hero were the Ronin. These are samurai who've lost their lord or their master or their liege lord, and these were the first things that I was able to see during the era of VHS tapes. Now we can see a lot of these movies on archive.org and stuff like that. But I want gradually, and Zatoichi is too bloody at that, I think. Well, my daughter was peeking in on Zatoichi last night, but generally Zatoichi movies are he he does not want to hurt anybody or misunderstand what's going on. And the whole movie, he figures out every single character around him and what they're doing and what level they're on and how involved they are and what the story and the narrative is. And it's not until the very end that he starts telling people, like, I have to ask you to leave this town. Like, I think I was watching episode 20, the 24th movie last night. I was like, you know what I want to do? I want to watch the Zatoichi movies backwards, right? From the last one that this actor played in, back to the original one. Why, I studied them a little bit in film school, but to me, if we have all these killers around us in our society or whatever, what do we how do we teach some kind of goodness or moral or righteousness or the correct way to do things? And I think what Zatoichi does is generally he cleans up corruption when organized crime is run rampant to such an extent that the people are starving and the women are all being put into prostitution and people are just dying or whatever from the oppression of some corrupt officials or whatever. Zatoichi, comes along, and he studied in each film. He like through the entire movie, he never hurts anybody. But gradually, he finds out who the bad guys are and who the good guys are. And in the very end, there's a confrontation, and he usually gives them a chance. He's like, "You better get out of town." I was watching episode 24, and the real bad guy, he knew him. Hey, how you doing there? The real bad guy in episode 24, he knew him. He was in his hometown, and he knew him. They were little kids together. They played together, So he did not want to hurt him and kill him. And finally, in the end, he was like, "Look, what you've done here. This is a terrible crime, and it's beyond. You're beyond. I feel you're beyond redemption, but I'm going to give you this last chance. Get out of town before tomorrow." And so they come and they try to kill him. Right? And they almost do. They throw him in quicksand or whatever. But anyway, I don't want to spoil the movie. But yeah, in the end of a Zatoichi movie, he's going to clean up, right? And that's the way it works. And I call it, as I did in the beginning of this conversation, it's the Popeye shtick or the Popeye gimmick, where the angle that they came up with Popeye that worked so well, what was not really part of Thimble Theater, which was the Popeye newspaper strip, it really emerged in the Popeye newspaper strip as something that worked, is that Popeye, thank you. Popeye would get beat up by the bad guy, right, and kicked around, and they mopped the floor with him, and it's not until, okay, I've had all I can stands, and I can't stands no more, right? And he eats the spinach and he cleans up or whatever. But I think the Zatoichi movies, they're gory to varying degrees. They're not gratuitously gory, but and most of the movie is very cerebral, right? Every Zatoichi movie is like he's kind of going around like Columbo or something. I'd just like to ask you a few questions, man. Simply routine. It's all routine. Zatoichi's sort of like that. He's going around with this little notebook. Well, he doesn't have a notebook because he's blind. But he just has these little light conversations where he fathoms everybody's depths, right? All the way down to the bottom, top to bottom of everybody in the story. And then in the end, he cleans up, right? He's like, I'm cleaning this town up. And again, the thing that happened last night is, I've been struggling with the whole. My daughter has been. I got into gaming now, and I'm trying to be serious about being a serious gamer and playing well. That's why I practice every day. I never did it before, right? But I was 2 years at an elementary school. My daughter was here by herself watching YouTube Kids alone, and she's got into this. Battle game stuff, defeat the enemy, right? And she's not a good loser yet. She doesn't even like me to lose. I've had to shut down streams because she's seen me losing and really, really get furious at me. And I want, I realize that we live in a very terrible time with all kinds of violence and bad violence. Like, can you believe the United States is helping Saudi Arabia against Yemen, right? And we, the little dweebs of America, we're just sitting here at our computers or whatever, while the little bit, think of how little your tax money, is, the average person, how much they contribute, and yet the more money that you earn here, the more money goes to like Lockheed Martin to give horrific weapons to Saudi Arabia to kill, Yemeni people in the desert, and they're starving down there. And people are like, Yemen, what's that? Where is that? It's a place in the Saudi Arabian Peninsula. But this is the same thing that's going on. When I was a little bit younger, right? The United States wanted to overthrow a guy that used to work for them named Mobutu Sese Seko in the Congo. And so they armed and trained these RPF, the Rwandan Patriotic Front. It's a Tutsi ethnic group that was promoted to rulership in Rwanda by Nazistic ideologies of the Belgians and Germans, right, over a vast majority of people. They had a revolution against these people in the 50s, the majority did, and they took over the country. And then they prepared to defend themselves because they knew that the refugees of this Tutsi minority that had been in refugee camps both in the Congo and in southern Uganda were being armed and trained by the United States, right, in preparation for an invasion, right? And they did invade, and then about 1 million people died, right? And then not only did they invade Rwanda with our equipment at our taxpayers' expense or whatever, but then they rolled into the Congo and overthrew the guy that was in power because he was working for the United States. That's why he was in power in the first place. Right, and they were tired of him. They wanted to put another guy in there who's also a really bad guy. Right? They want to put him in, and so they rolled into the Congo and they precipitated 2 wars known as the First and Second Congo Wars. And I was in ROTC when it was going on at my university. Right, I was ready to go in the Army, and I was watching this in the paper, and I said, "This is going to be awful." I was working for Amnesty International on the Rwandan genocide website. I did the Rwandan genocide website for Amnesty International at the time at my school, and I was in Army ROTC. And the RPF forces rolled into Congo and precipitated 2 wars, the First and Second Congo Wars, and 5.5 million people died. So 6.5 million people died at American taxpayer expense. And here, we're just not paying attention to it. Nobody, have you ever heard of that? First and Second Congo War? Laurent Kabila, have you ever heard of him? Or Mobutu Sese Seko? Think about it. This is like major, much bigger bloodbath than Iraq and Afghanistan wars combined. And we had military in there, secret, because officially we're not in there. But anyway, looking for heroes in a dark age, and what came back to me, and I'm going to conclude this and get on Macarena, but what came back to me is when I was little, I first saw Ronin samurai like Yojimbo and Sanjiro of Kurosawa Akira. Don't say Kurosawa Ikura. That means Squid Kurosawa. Japanese feel insulted when you say that. So it's Akira. And I just warned you because I made that mistake. Not Ikura, but Akira. Right? Okay, but it came along later, probably, it's probably 6-7 years later, and I can't remember if it was a Japanese market next to a sushi bar where I first got Zatoichi movies, or VHS tapes at some underground DVD VHS rental place. We had VHS rental places like back alley ones that had these weird foreign movies like Zatoichi, right? And he's sort of like a hero in a dark age, nameless. You don't know who he is. And yeah. So I made this this little tribute screen here for Zatoichi. And I dang well, before I leave here, I should put my a screen capture on this. Yeah, an existing screen capture. Right. So that's what I want to do. I want to make this, polish it up just a little bit like that. This is my remembrance page for the great blind massage guy, Zatoichi, with his little cane. There's a sword inside the cane, right? See that? See, he usually has. If you look at the poster there, he's got the scabbard, right, is actually his cane, right, and it's like a cane that he uses to walk around because he's blind, right. But he pulls out that sword, man. Look out! Oh man, he's gonna open you like a can of tomatoes. Oh, you don't want to see that. All right. So, how do we play this game? I forgot. Let's see. Oh no, the free for all's over, man. Out to get you, McAlphas, and oh, I hate a sleazy name. Why'd you have to make that? That just dawned on me. I was like, dig. I saw it as a G. Yeah. Sleazy people. Oh, you're breaking. Don't go breaking my heart. Yeah, I wish to leave the team. All right, so I'm getting ready to go in. Let's see. Live scene. Let's see. I don't. Oh, it's Macarena Dario. I do know you, don't you? You weren't here before. That was cool. And I always go, non si passi di cibo mortale, chi si passi di cibo celeste. When I see an Italian name, right? That's what I do. And Dario, I think of that as an Italian name. Oh man, I gotta really. I don't know why this. God help. Oh yeah. Check out. I don't. Have you ever seen Zatoichi? The Zatoichi movies. There's like 27 of them, I think. It's really big in Japan. Well, I mean, 50 years ago, it was like a major cinematic bombshell or whatever. They made 27 movies about this one guy, right? So he was big. Hello. I need some Italian bread, man. I'm thinking of Italian stuff. Hey, can you just get that thermal lance up the road, man? And this is a thing. I always wonder if I back far enough, is the bot going to suddenly take, like if you back away, is the bot suddenly, if you're too far away, is the bot not going to turn his lance onto you? Right, that's what I'm trying to analyze behind it, the bot behavior. Like when does the bot trigger to point at you? And when does he trigger to go after somebody else? What are the factors? So I try to observe. Man, quit trying to hide down there, man. There you go. That's what I needed. Alright, if they're taking him down, I guess I should really go for this tank control point. Damn it. Yeah. So that was the first time I did that, and that was a bad. Yeah, so I'll try. I mean, I got my weakest smack. Get off of me. Oh my God. Okay. What? Wait, bots? Yeah, they're bots. Are you kidding? I tried to get somebody to come on and they didn't join. So I gotta, you know, I've time's a wasting, buddy. Gotta practice. And my conversation, if you notice what I'm talking about, is I'm like, okay. Oh, maybe you didn't know that they were bots. Yeah, okay. And this is a thing that's important. On Mech Arena, you may not realize, and I certainly didn't. There's a list on Reddit of the known bots, right? Smash Lampjaw, for example, Galway Gal. They're known bots. All those in that list I think I just saw just then were bots. Right, now where do you find out who they are? One way you can tell that they're bots is that that group is on, that group of about 450 of them. They're on 24/7, and you'll also see them in all the YouTube videos, right? So that should, geez, these guys are really serious. Thank you. I always appreciate help. But yeah, that be me as a bot. He's on the bot list. You can see it on, and also you can see, if you notice him, you see he's over there kind of twirling around. That's a bot idling maneuver, right? And I used to, when I thought they were people, let me not let this guy just kill me. Oh. Let's see. Yeah, you see how he's just kind of he's idling. You see that little twist back and forth? That's a bot idling thing. But yeah, you can get on Reddit. You can see the list. But I mean, you can pretty much deduce, if you're which ones are bots. But and I was sort of brokenhearted because there were some pretty cool scenarios that I had been in with these bots that I wanted. Like it happened with Galway Gal and with Smash Lampjaw, Swerve. And when I found out that they were not real people, I was sad. Redacted. Yeah, he's a bot. But once you get over it, then I think it's a good playing development stage because you can study the bots. Also, it's my understanding that in the beginning, like, okay, I have 2 accounts, and they're both Kutawojo, right? Let me not screw this up this time. Yeah. That's a spawn point for them down there. Oh man, I can't believe they're beating us. Something about weakest mech. I wasn't paying attention whatsoever. I thought we were doing pretty good. That's it. But what I do now that I know which ones are I was gonna say, yeah, it used to let you name yourself. You could have multiple people with the same name, right? And so I have 2 accounts, and I guess it's just grandfathered in or whatever like that. Oh, and okay, watch this. We're gonna see if these are all bots, and if they are, we're gonna drop out. But look it up on Reddit, bot list for Mech Arena. Is Toot a bot? I don't think so. Yeah, bots are dumb. That's right. And you try to, what I try to do is try to study them. Yeah, I think these are all bots. All right, so I'm going to drop out of this. And this is a thing too. Another tip about getting your points up is, man, you really is, if you take the time and I'm going to do this every time you go in, take the time to do it like this. Go in this way. And this is the second time I invited these two guys. So if they also don't join me now, I'm going to think about deleting them from my friends list, because people that play, like, I'm supposed to play 4 hours a day, because I'm really, okay, this guy, okay, he joined. Good for him. Okay, so I'm going to start as soon as I can, right? And now I know I've got this one guy, and I'm going to call him the handler, right? Because I don't... oh yeah, and I mean the bots. The thing about it is another frustrating thing is a bot lets you win. A bot lets you win. Yeah. Which is I guess in a certain sense even more humiliating, is that the bot just pretends to lose. I should have backed this guy up with an MD, but I was not paying attention to what I was doing. But a couple of things, like when I'm really hammering on a real person, and it just so happens that I get the drop on them or something, and that I get a sense that they're upset. It's a little bit stressful for me. I don't want to make people feel bad. I want people to have a good time and everything. But on the other hand, I'm not going to lay down and die. I'm going to try my best. Okay, good. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, this guy. Who is that? That's a bot, right? Okay, and I had been asking about this thing. The one bot behavior is that the dang medics would float in front of you, like, to make sure. All right, this is the thing. Marcos, look, dude, you should stay behind the Ares, right? The MD should stay behind the Ares. He should stay behind the Ares so he can get behind the shield. Because if he gets killed, he can't heal me. Dang it. Consarn you. But, okay, once you realize that they're bots or whatever, then you can be, I feel sort of detached, It's like it doesn't really annoy me. Yeah, that's right. Stupid bot. Stupid bot. Stupid bot. Good. Okay, but back to my thing. Like, I have two accounts, both named exactly the same name, Kudo Wojak, my daughter and mine. Right. Well, they don't allow you to do that anymore. I'm pretty sure. Well, at least I tried. I tried to make one, because I heard that people were doing that. They were trolling people. They would make their a Mecharina character with a bot name, and then go and chat with people and stuff, and mess with their heads and everything. Benny G, 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 Benny G. You die. Man, I would appreciate it if you would just die. That's what I would really appreciate. Surprise! These guys are lurking back here. Alright, my man, my bro. Change your name, man. That's so nasty. Useless, man. What, you know, it's like you naming yourself. To say that, you know, that's an epithet for a useless person. Did you know that? Somebody, you know, in England they call them a wanker. You know, somebody, they're just useless. So, yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. Kids are on here, you know. Yeah. I need to make a bot and name it Zatoichi. Or make a Macarena account and name it Zatoichi. Hey, Screen Demon, what's up? How you doing? COVID testing time. Tilt your head back. Only take a second. Oh shit, all the way behind there, man. That's so annoying. Ouch! Dang it. Okay. Bad mistake. Well, I'm trying to get more forward, you know, instead of always completely being a conservative player. Jump out there in the middle of things. Yeah, I'm coming for you, buddy. Coming for you. Coming for you. Coming for you. Coming for you. Better get that reload. Yeah, you didn't. Toss the dice. Oh! I deserve that. Sure did. Okay. Scream Demon, you know, I mean, I understand that you've got issues, but hey, I just want to remind you. Yeah. Who you're dealing with. That's what I want to remind you. All right, now a bot, you know, this guy's a bot, right? Can't he hit me? He's deliberately missing me, right? Or he's programmed to, you know, to not hit me directly. A bot, you know, yeah, could hit me spot on. A bot is a figment of the programmer's imagination. Can do whatever. Yeah. Took a beating, but I'm gonna try. Okay, Hotspot. See, Hotspot I don't think is a bot. Tisk is a bot. Oh, a minigun. Whack 300? I don't think. See, he's trying to get undercover, right? A bot might not necessarily do that. You missed me. Well, yeah, just empty your magazine. That's cool. Oh, God. Good job, Hotspot. Oh. My wreckage, you see my wreckage go flying by him? That was great. Good shot, boy. I want to have a word with you. What has he got? Hold on. Yeah. 74,000, 75,000 damage. I'll take that. I'm out, man. That's the worst beating I've taken in a long time. But those guys that whack 300, you'll get to and Hotspot, both of those, and I think you can tell once you know what to look for. you can tell a human being is at the controls, right? St. Marcos is a bot. He's giving him the thumbs up. I think he doesn't know that St. Marcos is a bot because he just gave him a thumbs up. Yeah, you shouldn't. Yeah. How did I come up with my name? Okay. Well, my daughter, as I said, got me into this because she was at home for 2 years while I was at this elementary school, and I've come home and I'm staying with her all day now, and let my wife go to the office because my wife couldn't handle, she just left her on the by herself too much. But anyway, back to that. I'm a Chinese speaker, and what that means I, right? What, right? In Chinese is me, right? I, right? And anonymity, wo Joe, right? So wo, yeah. So it's like kudo, right? Like praise you, and I'm Joe, right? Right, it's anonymity, right? So that's how I came up with the name Kudo Wojo, right? Chinese for I'm Joe. Call me Joe, right? In other words, you don't know what my real name is. But okay, another thing is look, I got a Team XP bonus there, but I don't think anybody. Wait a minute. Whoa. It's like maybe you get Team XP if there's real people on your team, and you don't if all right. So the big point I want players to come away with is like how to get, when you're not dumping money into this, and you shouldn't. Look, this is another thing too. If you upgrade all your stuff to 16 or whatever like that, if you pay all that money, the real Mystic Mask, that's heavy, man. That is much heavier. I'll explain that to you, how I came up with the real Mystic Mask. All right. Yeah, that's a little bit deeper. Yeah, an illusion, right? Something that you imagined, all right? And I'll start to explain the real Mystic Mask. Right? Tell you a scene. I'm a little kid, Here I am. I'm a little kid in my kitchen, and my older brother is incidentally a rape baby, right? And my older brother is washing dishes, and I'm sitting at there's like a little bar thing in the kitchen, the old ranch house, GI Bill. $15,000 place over in East Atlanta, and I'm sitting there, and he puts some dishes into the cabinet, right? Turns this side, puts some dishes in the cabinet, and he closes the door, and the door, like, it's got this little clip, and the clip is like bent out a little bit so it doesn't hold on. It's like pop, and the door just kind of swings open, right? So he turns around, and the door's like right in front of his face, like this, right? So he puts a glass in there, and he closes it a little bit harder, right? Stay, right? And so he goes back to washing dishes, and he turns around, and hold on a second, let me get my match going. You should always start your match trying to get some people in there, so you get that plus 10%. All right, so I tried to, because that's going to add up over time, really big time. You're going to move forward faster if you're. And to finish what I was saying earlier, if you pour money into this machine, all the bots are going to upgrade automatically. So if you buy all the mechs or whatever, the bots are going to get all the mechs free, right? So what's the point in pouring all that money in there? Why not just, okay, and I'm trying to pay attention a little bit more here. I've been trying to practice with the support mech stuff going on, so let me try to do this. But yeah, the third time my brother turned around and the door's in his face, right? Turns around and thank you. I needed that fence. Good. All right. Good. You guys cleaning up here? Good. Let's get busy. All right. Oh! Dang you. Two. Yeah. I ain't scared of you, buddy. I'm gonna reincarnate some lives. You just watch. What am I gonna drop here? No, I'm gonna go ahead and drop this. All right, so the third time he turns around and he hits the door as hard as he can. Oh, that's a real person. Captain Felion. Yeah. He's not on the bot list, at least. They could, I mean, sometimes they could add new bots, right? The Sacred Cow is a bot. Tadayoshi is a bot. Can't believe that, man. A whole missile rack and a kill shot. That's like 40,000 damage. Oh. Wow, Sacred Cow, brother. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Tadayoshi, pretty bad, pretty bad. Okay, so. Okay, when my brother hit the door went and hit the cabinet and then flew back and hit him in the face really hard, right? So we're still talking about how'd you get the name The Real Mystic Mask. All right, the thing behind the mask. All right, I chiefly hate. All right, so I don't know if you ever read the book Moby Dick or saw. There's a movie, an old movie that I like. Has what, Gregory Peck, I think. But one of the things where the book and the movie kind of line up is if you don't know the story, there's a guy, Ahab, who's named after Ahab of the Bible, who was a king that rejected, he rejected God and he worshipped other gods, and he married a woman that, you know, they worshipped all these idols or whatever, and he was like, you know, screw our traditional stuff. And he was kind of a bad, vengeful guy. He tries to, he's the king that orders Elijah the prophet to be killed, and Elijah has to run, right, to escape. It's in the Pentateuch, the Jewish part of the Bible, the old. I guess the New Testament is sort of Jewish. Well, almost. Well, not really. It's kind of written down by people who heard of Jews and knew some Jew stuff, right? But they didn't understand Jesus's language, Aramaic, or know anybody that did, and they wrote what they wrote about a century later. So the older stuff is really, you know, actually written by Jews. But good. Ah! Help! My brother hidden that cabinet door is futile, right? Okay, well, Ahab in the story of Moby Dick, right? He's trying to be the big game hunter, you know, like he wants to get the greatest whale that there is, which is a whale that, well, he goes after. The story is that he's gone after this whale, and the whale's so big, his like the rope cuts through his side. It's like they throw a harpoon and the rope has cut through the guy's side until it like it literally destroys one of his lungs and it tears off one of his legs. So he has to walk around on a peg leg. And when these guys sign up to go on the voyage, they sign up on a whaler to hunt whales. And one of the characters is the first mate, Starbuck, is like I signed on to hunt whales, not my commander's vengeance. Okay, get now we're sort of almost to the point where we can talk about the mask, and I may surprise you. At one point in the novel and in the movie, and I'm going to paraphrase the dialogue a little bit like that. Ahab is like he notices that Starbuck is like making faces. Right? He's like, "Come about, sir." He's like leaving the cabin where he's talking to him. Why the long face, Mr. Starbuck? Are you not game for Moby Dick? Right. And I'm paraphrasing again. There's more to the dialogue, but the thing that gets Ahab pissed off is the guy says to be enraged with a brute beast that acted out of blind instinct seems blasphemous. Ahab loses his temper. He's like, "Don't talk to me about blasphemy, man. I'd strike the sun if it insulted me." And the book, he goes on about it. It's like, if I could do that, then he could do the other. but I'm not going to go that far. But he goes a little lower layer, Mr. Starbuck. All visible objects are but as pasteboard masks. Some inscrutable yet reasoning thing puts forward the molding of their features. The white whale tasks me. He heaps me. Yet he is but a mask. 'Tis the thing behind the mask I chiefly hate, the malignant thing that has terrorized and frightened man since time began. The thing that mauls and mutilates, not killing a man outright, but letting him live on with half a heart and half a lung. The squooey wabbit. No, he doesn't say the squooey wabbit, but I did because I'm trying to make a connection between my brother and his war with the cabinet door, Ahab's war with Moby Dick, with the thing behind the mask, as he says, and and what's opera doc Elmer Fudd with kill the wabbit, right? He's like, yeah, he's a big game hunter like Ahab, right? And he sees what does the big game hunter do? Well, he gets the girl, right? He's out there hunting wabbits so he can bring home the bacon, right? Or the rabbit, the Hassenpfeffer, as it were, right? For the girl, right? When all of a sudden the girl appears, the thing behind the mask, and it's Bugs Bunny, and he's in drag, right? And he's dressed up like Brunhilde, right? And this is a theme that's recurring, like the cabinet door and like Ahab's madness. And even in the Bible, Elijah the prophet, he all he does is he says things, right, that make people angry, and they chase him, right? And he says what's gonna, he predicts the future, and then they decide they like. And in ancient times, people believed this. Jewish people believed this about prophets, that once they say something, you can't change the course, that the die is cast or whatever. That once the prophet has spoken the prophecy, there's no turning aside from that, right? So in the historically, Ahab is married to this queen, and she's into all these different gods or whatever. She's worshiping all these idols and stuff, and he's doing it too. And they're whatever they do, they're sacrificing kids to bring the sun back. A lot of the cultures all around the world did this. When the winter would come on, towards the end of the winter, they would do things like cut down the last green trees and sacrifice them to appease the sun, to get the sun to come back. Right. And Judaism is sort of against that. So Elijah, all he did is like, this is not what you're doing is wrong, and there's going to be a disaster. And Ahab is like, go after this guy, kill him. And they can never catch him. And also he ends up anointing the next king or whatever to follow after Ahab. But yeah, it's another long story. But the real Mystic Mask, I was working for the company that produced Second Life and Blox World and Sansar, and I was on the support team for Sansar, and I was just trying to be myself and be nice and take care of customers, and I was pursued at that company by Ahab, right? In other words, there was a guy at the company who was like Ahab. He came after me, right? Didn't like what I was doing, and all I was doing is I was saying, we need to focus on concern for the customers, and we need to do good things and help our customers be successful with our product, or the ship is going to sink, right? So when I was working there, and I'm getting to the point of how I got the name The Real Mystic Mask, is I felt like, I stood up in the face of this guy being real threatening and fearsome and intimidating, whatever, Patch Linden or whatever. And I was like, we're not doing customer service here. We need to be concerned about the customers, and we need to we need to work on making them be able to be successful using our product. And I was not scared of him. I was like, go ahead and fire me. It's easy for me to get a job. I got a math degree. There's like 200, if you pick up in Atlanta, Indeed or any job listing, there's like 200 or 300 urgent hires for math teachers, right? Because we're number 30 in the nation, right? I don't have to worry about work, or I'm not going to starve, right? I can, so I stood up to him. I said, this product is gonna sink, and you're hiring, but he was hiring people that were jerks, that were his friends or something like that were also doing bad stuff and hurting the customers and making them furious. And I was getting exhausted. I was ready to quit anyway. But I made a character. I needed to have a character on the game platform where people did not know I was this person. So I made Laret Kassam Sitsem, which was my name on Sansar, which is the real Mystic Mask spelled backwards. So if you take Laret Kassam Sitsem, right, and you reverse that, you spell it backwards, it spells the real Mystic Mask, right? So that was my secret identity as Garth on the platform Sansar, where I could go in and observe and know whether or not, that's how I got it. And it's a reference to Ahab. in explaining how I got that name, I'm really going also very superficial, because I use the term the real. And my father, my real father, who I didn't know during my lifetime was my father, was a prominent psychoanalyst in the Atlanta area, and worked at the mental institution and Georgia Mental Health Institute, and with the Candler Mansion with veteran families, alcohol rehab, drug rehabilitation, and stuff. And he was a chairman of pastoral psychology for Columbia Seminary. And I didn't know until my mom was like 85 that he was my real father. It's obvious. As soon as my sisters called me on the phone, they were like, "Look at his picture, man." And but also that we share a lot. You're born with certain stuff that you get from your parents, right? And I definitely inherited some stuff in my genetics from my father. It was really obvious as soon as my mother passed away. My sisters told me what had happened. Now, to go a little bit deeper in the psychoanalytic movement, after Sigmund Freud, a French psychoanalyst emerged named Jacques Lacan, and he coined a term called the real, right? And it's in the simplest sense, understanding what the real means as a technical term in Lacanian psychoanalysis is very hard to get to something, right? You can't ever reach it, right? But a way of thinking of the real is like realizing that when you're inside your brain, right? And somebody says, "Make me a sandwich," right? What do they mean by that? You'll never really know. They could be trying to step on you, trying to denigrate you or something like that. Or they could just want a sandwich, or they might be busy or something. Or they could be, maybe they're testing you. They're like, "Oh, if he's charitable and he makes me a sandwich, I'm going to take him out for a T-bone steak just to, reward him for what I consider to be good behavior." You don't know what the reality is around you, because the reality is not only what's inside the person that's talking to you's mind, but what's in all the unreachable things that are beyond the realm of your senses and your ability to comprehend, right? So the real is a term. It references Lacanian psychoanalysis and is tied to Freudian psychoanalysis and thus to Jewish mysticism via the Kabbalah, where words mean things you don't realize, right? More deeper things that you don't realize. And then mystic mask is the mask in terms of Ahab. It's the thing behind the mask I chiefly hate. All visible objects are but his pasteboard mask. Everything that I see, right, it's just a piece of cardboard. It's just a piece of scenery that some inscrutable yet reasoning thing manufactured, right? That reveals something about the human condition. In a bad way, when a person is like Ahab, or like the biblical Ahab, or like the biblical Jezebel, those kind of people, when they're like that. Or like my brother hitting the cabinet door and having it snap back and bash him in the face, right? He was like that. It's anthropomorphism. You're giving life and a soul to something that it's not there. It's a construct. It's all in your mind. All right, so that's it. All that's in our mind is really all that there is for us. Man, y'all got some people out here can join in with a match. Need some match. Marweezy. Man, this is the thing. And the point I was trying to make too is like, you want to keep that 10% on top of everything. You need to make sure you got those people coming in on your matches. But then trying to get them to come in is time consuming. I have been playing, if you've been watching Walking Dead, man, I love that guy. And he plays on a smartphone. Plays dang good sometimes, too. He's real good with a Panther on a smartphone. I mean, he throws down those fences just perfect every time for team-oriented, Because think about it. A panther, right? You need to go over on the side and throw the fence across, like this way. And then your whole squad, or wherever your squad is, you need to have, and I haven't thought about it enough, but this guy is good at it, right? He comes in with a panther, he jumps way over to the side, right? And then when you come out, if you're forward, he'll throw the fence up like this, right? If you're this way, he'll throw the fence like this, just so it's in front of you, so his squad can spread out and just onslaught through that fence. And that's good, sensible team playing. And we've had some really fun. So hopefully he's going to show up, man. I don't know, man. He could be taking the day off. Oh man, we on the last day. All right, now on this thing, look, man, this I could get maybe, right, if I spend a big wheel. These two I can't because it's a fragment gun. I'm not buying that. And using Acoins, I can't use Acoins because I'm trying to upgrade my MD. All right, now, but day 10, become MVP 8 Thompson control point clash battles. I've got 3 of those. So I need to focus on that and use 15,000 credits. Can do that today. And deal 200,000 damage with kill shot. Ooh, I need to work on that. Win 7 battles. Make an in-game purchase. I'm never going to get that. So I can almost see the top level I'm going to get. I got 1 fortune key. Now, this is the thing. I would never buy fortune keys, right? That's like you're buying what you buy when you buy a fortune key. It's like a spin on a roulette wheel. It's gambling, right? Because if you look at these things, when you buy the key, look, you can spend, if you buy the most expensive keys, you have a chance to win 2,500 Acoins, right? So if you're not smart and you don't know about gambling, you might not do what I'm about to do, which is let's go look at the information on this. All right, if you spend the 5 key, look how small that space is, right? In other words, how to calculate it. So I count the number of layers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, so of 4 across, I've got 9. That's 36, 37, 38, right? So my probability of getting one of these 3, getting money or a paint job, right, on a spin of 5 is going to be 3 and 38, right? And you will find that that's decent, right? You often get the money, right? Now you spend this thing. How can you? It's like, oh, 750. I could get 750. All right, look at it though. How many layers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, right? So let's just call it 80 times 4, right? 80 times 4 is 320, right? 320. So your chance of getting a 750 is 1 in 320. Oh my goodness, my daughter's knocking on the door. I think she's already up. Sweetie, are you already up? Hold on just a second. Come on in. Is the door open? The door should be open. Come on. Okay, hold on. I think the door may lock. I'm sorry. What? You got the potty?
No, I need bunny.
You need what?
Bunny.
Potty?
Yabby.
Let's check it out. What do you want? You want some food?
No bunny. Bunny. Bunny.
If you get mad there, I can't understand. The potty's right there.
Bunny.
Okay. I've got my daughter. She got up. She's asking for a potty, but apparently that's not what she means because she's kind of crying or whatever. So I'm gonna have to go. Well, I'm gonna try at first to see if I can come back. Not sure if I can, but we'll. That's my daughter. Yeah, that's my daughter. Yes. So I'm gonna go try to help her. Okay.
I said bunny.
You want something to eat?
No bunny.
To poopy?
Yes.
Okay, come here. Come here. Come here. Come with me. Come with. Ouch. You bust my mouth open with your elbow.
Okay, calm down, baby. Calm down. Calm down.
Leave
You want-
me
I
alone.
know you're sad.
I said leave
You
me
want some time
alone.
to cry and then come back when you are done crying.
No,
Yeah.
no, you leave me
Yeah?
alone and I
Okay,
will
I'll
call
give you some
Andy.
space.
No,
Let's wipe your butt.
no, I
Come on.
will. Andy,
Okay,
Andy,
leave
I
it
will.
Okay, we're gonna go. We'll give you some space to cry.
Andy.
Mhm. Oh no. It's all right. Yeah. So, so what happened is she had this watermelon suit on, and she couldn't go to the potty because it was all buttoned up, and she couldn't pull down her pants. So she was like, "Tell me, I need the potty. I need the potty." And it wasn't until I made the connection that it wasn't until I made the connection that she couldn't pee because she had that suit on. Yeah. But anyway, ouch! She's beating me. She's beating me up. Help! No, I'll be all right. But anyway, I'm gonna have to end the stream. I'm gonna try to come